So he took it off. Stand with the campaign.
I feel like Hillary needs to be taken out. If she gets into government, I'll do everything in my power to take her out of power, which if I have to be a patriot, I will.
What does that mean?
Take it any way you want to take it.
I mean, that sounds like a threat.
What do you think a patriot is?
Is that a physical threat?
I don't know, is it?
Wow. So let's listen to that again.
How are you feeling right now about where things stand with the campaign?
I feel like Hillary needs to be taken out. If she gets into government, I'll do everything in my power to take her out of power, which if I have to be a patriot, I will.
What does that mean?
Take it any way you want to take it.
I mean, that sounds like a threat.
What do you think a patriot is?
Is that a physical threat?
I don't know, is it?
Wow. So I'm seeing a growing trend of, look, you know, people like they use these words, right? Like when he says I'm a patriot, it's like a wink wink, right? Look, I'm not a Hillary supporter, right? I'm not. Believe me. Okay. I'm starting to sound like Trump now. Believe me, all right? Believe me. But this is getting insane. I am convinced. I'm not saying it's going to be Hillary or Obama, but in my lifetime, I think a president's going to get assassinated. But by the way things are going, right? Right? But the way shit's going, and make no mistake about it, somebody actually tried to, I don't know if he was trying to kill him or not, but he was trying to get to Trump, right? So Trump sees almost everybody in history that's ran for office and wearing a major ticket. You know, you have your psychos that, you know, threaten to kill them, right? That's the way it is. Obama had like a record-breaking amount of open death threats, like online, and maybe that's because it's a social media age and people are online and stuff. A lot of neo-Nazis, and you just don't hear about it, right? You just don't really hear about it because Secret Service is that good, right? The Secret Service is probably the best security personnel in the world, bar none, right? Now, this dude, like, he knows it's going to be filmed, right? And, you know, it's like they think they're smart, too. It's like, well, you know, Hillary, you know, I'm going to have to take care of it, you know, take care of her if she gets in office. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean, sir? Is that, like, just to clarify, are you threatening to kill her? I'm just saying I'm going to be a patriot. That sounds like a threat, sir. Nah, I'm being a patriot. Like, I think he wants to have like some wiggle room to deny that he threatened to kill her, right? Dangerous, right? A lot of people thought it was an exaggeration when Donald Trump came out, right? And he said, hey, folks, you know, we have to win the election so we can get somebody in the Supreme Court, you know, because if Hillary gets in there, you know, we're not going to be able to stop, you know, them from getting rid of the Second Amendment. Right? And then he said, well, I don't know, maybe the Second Amendment people could do something about it. Maybe he meant through lobbying and stuff, that's probably what he did mean, right? But for idiots like this, like that's not what that means. That's a call for patriotism, right? That's a call for arms in their minds. You see, look, we're never going to, like, 1776 is not going to immense again. And, like, all this dumb shit. Okay? It's not going to happen. But could some of these individuals do some violent shit? I wouldn't be shocked if some people get shot on voting day. It wouldn't shock me. They just, like, bombed some, like, GOP facility not that long ago. So the left has a lot of issues here, too. Right? Now, we don't know if that was an inside job or not, so we don't know all the details yet. But you had armed men, okay, outside an elected officials building, Okay, I mean, this is getting out of hand. I mean, you're talking about, I mean, the irony of, if our guy doesn't get elected, we're going to kill the one that does get elected because this is no longer a democracy. I mean, the irony of that is astonishing, right? I mean, that's insane. I mean, this is crazy. You know, I'm going to do what I need to do if Hillary's get elected. You know what I mean? I don't know what you mean. Can you clarify for us? What are you going to do? Bake some cookies or what? I'm going to have to be a patriot. You had a dude the other day, right? A former cop, right? With a fucking machine gun, burning a picture of Obama with a shirt that says Obama is a traitor. And he's calling up for arms because he thinks any day now, Obama, like, it's been dude, like, they're not going to take away your gun. It's not going to happen, right? It's not, that day's not coming. And it's almost like they're upset it's not coming. It's like they want a war. Like, it's like they want a revolution. They just live for this, you know? They've been taught all this revisionist history about the founding fathers, and it's so romanticized, and they just believe that this is a good deed that they're going to do. This is insane, right? So this is why it's dangerous when you're in that position, all right, and you're going to say, well, that sounds cliche, but it's the truth, right? When somebody says something like, hey, Miss Trump, you know, we got a big problem in this country, and they're called the Muslims. What are you going to do about the Muslims, huh? And all he could say is, yeah, I hear a lot of things, you know, a lot of, you know, big things. You know, I hear a lot of things, a lot of concerns. A lot of people have a lot of concerns. You know, believe me, we're going to look into it. Believe me. Like, he didn't literally agree that the Muslims are a problem, but he didn't act like a leader in that situation. A leader would have said, oh, sir, you know, Islam is a religion. We do have some, you know, jihadists out there that unfortunately want to cause us harm, but, you know, we're going to work with, you know, the Muslim community and amongst ourselves, and, you know, and not pit us against, you know, them. You know, we need to learn from our own history. When we went to World War II, out of fear, because we were at war with Japan, the terrible things we did to the Japanese people, we put them in camps. We took away their constitutional rights when they were citizens of this country. So we cannot treat the Muslims the same way, right? A real leader would say something like that. No, but that's politically correct. See, this is how dumb people are now, right? This is the world we're living in now. You know, and look, man, mainstream media has a lot. They have, in fact, majority of the blame is the mainstream media, okay? People have been so desensitized from fact and fiction, it's unbelievable, right? Everything's 50-50, okay? Everything. You know, it's just, no matter what the topic is, it's 50-50, right? So people don't even know that, like, reporters and the news don't tell people the truth, right? The war in Iraq. Remember the war in Iraq? We knew it was a fact that 9/11 had nothing to do with Iraq. Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11. Saddam Hussein had nothing to do with it. Nothing. We knew that. Those were the facts. You don't think the news outlets knew this? Of course they fucking knew this, right? But every single time, well, I don't know, we're going to have so-and-so here and so-and-so here. You know, Republican says the war is good. Democrat says don't go to war. Okay, well, we don't know who's right. You know, we're not going to be objective. You know, we're not going to just tell you the fucking truth. No, we're going to pretend like everything's 50-50. Like he says, you know, 9/11 had a lot to do with Iraq. He says it doesn't. I don't know. We're just telling you both sides of the story. So what does that do? It creates an atmosphere where people don't even know what the truth is and what's not the truth. They can't separate fact from fiction, which is why so many people believe such stupid horseshit. Like, some of the stuff people believe is unbelievable, right? I mean, I hear some of the shit. I'm like, how could you believe that? Like, what? Like, it's just, it's crazy, right? And yes, the media has a lot to do with this, man, right? Like this dude, right? Clearly, for those that are on right now, I'm going to play it right now, right? I'm going to play this clip, and you tell me what it sounds like, right? I'm just going to play it. Check it out.
So he took it off.
How are you feeling right now about where things stand with the campaign?
I feel like Hillary needs to be taken out. I'll do everything in my power to take her out of power. Which, if I have to be a patriot, I will.
What does that mean?
Take it any way you want to take it.
I mean, that sounds like a threat.
What do you think a patriot is?
Is that a physical threat?
I don't know, is it?
She has to be taken out. What does that mean, sir? It means whatever you want it to mean. Sounds like a threat. It sounds like a patriot. Look, this is crazy. That is obviously a death threat, right? You don't speak in that coded language, right? And it wasn't even that coded, to be honest with you. They're not even trying that hard, right? That is a death threat. That man should be arrested, all right? And don't get me wrong. If I came out and I said, you know what, fuck Trump, right? I'm going to take care of Trump if he's elected. You believe me, I'm going to take care of him. What do you mean by that, sir? You can take it however the fuck you want to take it. That motherfucker, he ain't going to serve for president long, believe me. Is that a threat, sir? No, I'm just going to do my duty. Now, that's what it is. It's not a threat, it's my duty, right? Yes, I should be fucking arrested. That's a threat. But what's the media going to do? I could guarantee you, if this gets in the mainstream media, number one, they're going to present two sides of the story, because that's what they always do. Instead of just going on, yeah, this dude totally just threatened to kill Hillary Clinton. No, they're gonna get a surrogate from Trump and be like, no, they're just trying to demonize, Trump supporters, and that's not what he meant. What he meant was, if Hillary's elected, he's gonna do everything in his power to vote her off. 4 years later, like we know that's not what he meant, right? He's going to get involved in his community, and he's going to vote for the right congressmen and Republicans that will fight Hillary, tooth and nail in Capitol Hill. Like that's not what he meant. And that's not what he meant. That's a fucking death threat. It is. The media can't even call a fucking death threat for what it is. That's insane. People, and then guess what? People are going to hear like both arguments and be like, well, yeah, maybe that is what he meant. That's not what he meant. Long are the days, man. You remember when that one lady like got the mic and she's like, Mr. McCain, I'm really worried about this Barack Obama. He's an Arab. And McCain like shook his head like, no. Give me that. Right? Now, McCain should have said, no, ma'am, he's not an Arab. He's American born. Okay. His mother was American. He was born in fucking Hawaii. Those are the fucking facts. Okay. All right. That's what he is. No, I mean, he didn't go that far. He was running against them, but at the very least, he said, no, ma'am, give me the mic. Right. No, he's not. Okay, he's what did he say? He's a fine young man that I have a lot of disagreements with. Which at the time, everybody was a young man, a fucking 78-year-old McCain, but that's a different story. But long are those days, man. Like, we're in a time now where Pence is trying to like calm people down, saying if Hillary's elected, it's going to be a revolution. Look, I'm pretty confident Hillary's going to win this election, but I'm also confident that Trump supporter, like for the first time, I believe we're not going to get a concession speech. Trump, he's already putting out that it's rigged. Like he's already putting that out, right? He's already like that dude's a fucking crybaby, right? He was crying because Saturday Night Live was making fun of him. That's what they do, right? You have all these Trump supporters. Oh, Saturday Night Live, they're making fun of Trump. Oh yeah, you could tell that they want Hillary to win. Now, first of all, Saturday Night Live is not a news organization. Okay, they have no reason to. They could be biased if they want, right? I mean, they're making fun of Hillary too, how fake she is and how scripted she is. They were making fun of her as well. But even if they were biased towards Hillary, so what? It's a fucking comedy show. It's like this dude's lack of, sense of humor is unbelievable. It's unbearable. His fans like getting mad at Saturday Night Live skits and claiming that that's proof that this election is being rigged. No, this is crazy, right? But with that said, it's going to be interesting, man. Election night might turn out to be a pretty violent night, right? And I'm not trying to like fearmonger anybody or anything like that. A lot of these Trump supporters are starting to they're starting to use their guns to intimidate people, right? And you might say, yeah, well, come on. But like in the southern states, like Georgia, I think Hillary recently beat Trump in a poll there, where people have like a lot of guns. You don't think some people are just going to stay home? Like, you know what? Like, I don't want to fucking get shot, right? It's getting dangerous, man. It honestly is. And that's that. Do I think this dude's going to get to Hillary and kill her? No, right? But just the fact that he's thinking about it is insane, right? A lot of white supremacists have been trying to get to Obama, right? They just haven't come close, right? But this here, I mean, the level of hatred that I understand Hillary's a fucking fake politician, corrupt politician, just like any other fucking president we've had for the last few decades, okay? She's no different to them at all. But I've never seen a politician hated this much, right? Like by certain people that want to kill her. This is like another level type shit, right? Like this is crazy. So, yeah. Wow. It's going to be interesting, man. Election night. If it's a, I don't know. I don't know. Like if Trump loses like in a big landslide where it's like overwhelming, will he still come out and say it was rigged and they rigged it? And probably, I honestly believe he's not going to give a concession speech. There's going to be a lot of angry Trump supporters, right? I think there's going to be some homicides. Okay, I really do. I see it already, right? So I really hope, right, that, and the scary part is a lot of these cops, man, right, are really behind Trump. And I don't know how many you saw, like in San Bernardino, I think it was, some cops are caught like wearing Trump hats, right? With their uniform on, what they shouldn't do. They're not supposed to endorse the candidate while they have the uniform on. The reason for that is you're getting paid by taxpayer money to do that job. So you can't do that, right? And before Trump supporters come out and cry about it, that's been a rule forever, right? But a lot of these police unions and stuff like that, like I'm just saying, man, they've been trying to intimidate some voters out there. I still think Hillary's going to win because even if Trump sweeps the South, all right, he's probably still going to lose. But I haven't seen voter intimidation like this in my lifetime. Like, in all honesty, like I would have to think like way back, to really think about a time where voter intimidation was this apparent. So that's some crazy shit, and it doesn't take much, right? Let's say there's let's just picture this, right? Let's say you're in the South, and I want you to just picture the scenario. Let's say you're in the South, right? And you're a minority. You're black, you're Hispanic, you're Muslim, name it. Outside polling places, there's armed militia, which the cops are not doing anything about, right? And they're not telling you can't go in and vote. They're not preventing you from voting. You can still go vote if you want. But are you telling me a couple mothers, a couple people that just don't want no problems, you don't think they're gonna like just say, fuck this shit. I'm just gonna go home. My one vote probably isn't gonna matter anyway. Fuck this shit, right? Of course it's gonna happen. And before you say no, that doesn't happen, like I'm telling you, right? It's they put armed militia, right, patriots in front of mosques and shit, right? So patriots with machine guns in front of mosques, dressed in camouflage, right? Now I've always wondered, like, if these guys want to wear camouflage and they want to go to war so bad, I have no idea why they don't just fucking enlist, right? Like, you want to go to war so bad, like, just enlist in the army then. Like, well, what the fuck are you doing, right? Probably because you're gonna act that case, right? But they've done it before, and guess what? Cops did about it? Nothing. Guess what the government did about it? Nothing. Could you imagine Muslim with machine guns in front of a Mormon church? Could you even imagine that and nothing happens? Just try and picture it. So, like, this is not just about Hillary and Trump, and right. This has a lot to do with of especially Republicans that feel disenfranchised. They hated the fact that Obama got elected twice. They haven't even accepted those defeats yet, right? And now to them, this is like a third term of Obama, right? And they're reaching a breaking point. They're talking about revolution. They're talking about, if we win the election, great, that's what I want. But if we don't, then it's war. That is some sickening shit to say. And what the fuck do you do, right? Because they'll spin it, right? If they're talking about having armed militia and they'll just say it's to preserve voting and to make sure everybody has a right to vote. They'll say some bullshit like that, right? The right thing to do, right, would be to send the fucking National Guard over there and get the militia the fuck out of there. That would be the right thing to do. Obama's not going to have the balls to do it, right? Because places like Fox News, then they're going to spin it and they're going to say, the Alex Joneses, they're going to spin it and they're going to say, no, that's Obama sending the National Guard to intimidate patriots and Trump supporters from voting. So that you're kind of in a lose-lose. We're in a pretty fucked up situation, folks, right? Now, thankfully, I don't think this is going to be much of a problem in a lot of the blue states. I don't really think states where I could really envision this happening, Trump's going to probably win anyway, right? But just the fact that that's happening or could happen is unfortunate. to say the least, right? And this is nothing, right? There was a time where people got hung for voting, right? Yeah. People have died for the right to vote. This is a right here. Sure, our options suck. Like, don't get me wrong, right? Sure, ultimately, these politicians aren't doing what they're supposed to do or what the constituents are asking for. They're doing what the corporations want, right? But especially locally, I mean, your vote matters a lot, you know, and you see that in many communities. Communities that don't vote that much are not very well taken care of, right? They're not. Okay, they're just not. It shouldn't be that way, but that's the way it is. That's why I used to have Navajo Indians, right, in close to Albuquerque, New Mexico, with no water, no running water, right? Because they didn't have the right to vote. So I think like 1920 some, you know. So when all the pipelines and all that were being run like for water, since they didn't have a right to really vote much, okay, when a lot of that water access was being put out, you know, they were not included. And today, so there's such a small group that doesn't have a big impact, right, on any elections. You know, politicians don't have an incentive to really help them out, you know. So that's just the reality. But anyway, it's on, right? I don't know, man. I hope nobody gets shot, but I think somebody, there's going to be some homicide related to the election on election night. Mark my words. Peace.